Good morning. We're coming at you live from DESA, Dallas Environmental Science Academy, and we're here with Principal Mr. Zuniga. Mr. Z sounds like your students like to call you.
That's what my students call me. All my students call me Mr. Z. Yes,
awesome.
they do.
Love that. And yeah, we're super excited about today's episode. You have some incredible things going on here.
I thank you guys for being here today. We're DESA students are really excited. Our teachers are super excited about being here, being showcased throughout the district, because we do have the premier school in DISD.
Awesome.
So we are ready.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right. First, it looks like we're approaching some incredible robotics.
Yes, all of our 7th grade students take programming and robotics and a robotics class in 7th grade. So these are our students that are in robotics right now. What they are currently doing is they are programming their robot to run through a maze, and it's just one of the challenges that they have to perform throughout the school year. They also do a figure 8. And they also have a what?
Lap challenge?
Yeah, lap challenge as well in the robotics class as well.
This is Jurassic Park theme.
Yes, Jurassic Park theme. We don't want the dinosaurs to get a robot, so our robot has to go around the maze and navigate itself. So not only do the students have to navigate what they're doing, they have to actually program the robot to tell it what to do throughout the maze. So that challenge is completed.
Awesome.
As well, on this side we have some of our other students using some of our other different kind of robots, where what they do is they program the robot, and the robot has to go around an obstruction and hit the bowling pins. So that's the students program it, and it runs its course. And it's a trial and error as well, because they got to try to figure out how to get around the obstacle and how to get to the pins. So our students, this is part of their robotics class as well. So as you can have, we have Samuel and Jose Lomelli here working on the programming. So go ahead, sir, get it going. That was close. That was close.
What do you guys like about doing robotics at DESA?
There's just a lot of things you can do. It's not just actually driving the robot. You can also program. And since I'm in the robotics team, you can also do other, like there's a STEM research project that you can also work on. And it's not just robotics, it's also different parts of it.
So you feel like you're learning a lot while still having a lot of fun?
Yes.
That's awesome. Great, thanks guys.
So if we head into this other room, this is actually part of this is our robotics team. These are our robotics team members. We have 3 robotics teams, which in the past 2 tournaments, they have won over 10 awards. From STEM Research Awards to team member teamwork awards to judges awards. So on this side we have Marco, that he's soldering some of the parts that go in our robots. So not only do our students learn how to program, but they also learn how to use different tools that apply to robotics as well.
Yeah.
So he's soldering. Over here we have Henry, and Henry's building, modifying one of his robots that they use for the competition. So after competitions, what they get to do a lot is it's a lot of trial and error. So they have to tinker with a robot and take it apart, change parts, and see what kind of adjustments they can make to their robot. Because what our students are doing now is they're getting ready to go to the Worlds in Iowa. So all 3 of our teams have qualified to go to the Worlds in Iowa. We had 2 teams qualify last year that went to Kentucky to the Worlds Championship. And then we're getting ready for a Sea Perch, which is upcoming. That's the underwater robotics competition, which we plan on going and hopefully making the Worlds later on this year as well. And this part over here is this is the actual team challenge for robotics, part of the VEX challenge. So the students are have to work with a team, and they're tasked to get points on how they operate. And part of the challenge this year is for the robot to hang, high hang.
Oh.
So they have to hang up and down, and they get more points.
That's awesome. It's like a pull-up.
Yes, and the reason she slid those hubs underneath them is because they get points. There's a low hang and a high point. And a high hang gives you more points than a low hang. So if the hook can go underneath, then you get more points.
Great.
So these students are actually on our robotics team, all 3 of them. We have 3 robotics teams. We have the Decimators, the Pizza Bots, and the Infinity Bots. Those are our 3 robotics teams that we have.
3, 2, 1, go.
they're on a timer. They have a minute to do this.
Okay.
So it's not unlimited time. They have a minute to do it to try to get all the hubs put in place. And the more hubs they put in the blue marked off areas, the more points they get, and they stack them on top to get more points as well.
So fun, guys. This is awesome.
20 seconds.
So our robotics team is composed of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. All our students apply to be in the robotics team because it does take a lot of time and dedication. A lot of late Friday nights with Mr. Rob and Mr. Barlow, our robotics coaches. They spend nights up here till 7 o'clock working with the students and to ensure that our program is on point. So they do very well, but like I said, we have students from every grade level participating in our robotics team as well.
That's great.
So as we continue, we have more of our robotics teams on this side. This is our other robotics team on this side.
Which team
One
is it?
kid.
What team are you guys?
Progress.
Are you guys
The
gonna be autonomous program?
decimators.
Yeah, so one of the challenges in robotics is called an autonomous program. So what the students have to do is they have to program the robot to run a certain command. And what they have to do is they have to get the hubs into the corner, stack one on top, and then come and hang, I believe. But that has to be done. Once they program it, they set it down, they start the program, it does it by itself.
Okay.
So it takes a lot of working with the programming to make sure that it takes the right angles and the correct angles. Because they're not controlling over the remote, it's all through the programming.
Really
So it's an
cool.
automated program.
Fantastic.
So not only are the students learning how to build things, but they're also learning how to program.
which is huge.
Yes, which is a huge thing in the STEM in the STEM world nowadays.
That's awesome. And it looks like you have a ton of these trophies
Yes.
here.
Yes, we do.
So you guys are crushing it.
Yeah, so these are our trophies from the past years. This year we've compiled 10 trophies this year in robotics altogether. So the students work really hard, very hard, and we have fantastic robotics teachers, teachers and coaches.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we should head downstairs and on the way. I'd love to hear about some of the other programs you have going on here at DESA.
Yeah, so all our students at DESA take pre-AP courses. So that means that they're all a year ahead. Our 7th grade students actually take the 8th grade STAR test in 7th grade, our 8th grade unit.
Wow, okay.
Our 8th grade students take the math and the science 8th grade STAR test in 7th grade. Because when they get to 8th grade, our 8th grade students either take physics or astronomy, they take environmental science, they also take Algebra 1 and Spanish 3, plus CT, Career and Technology Pathways, which a lot of our students, when they leave DESA, they leave with up to 7 high school credits already, ready to go to high school.
Incredible.
Which is incredible. And also what helps us is that a lot of our students, us being a magnet, a lot of our students choose to go to Townview and to the Early Collegiate Academy. So
Great.
a lot of our students last year got accepted into SEM, Townview SEM, and but we had students going to business, we had students going to law, we had students going to TAG, and to collegiate academies. We also got quite a bit of number of students into Lassiter Early College and into Trinity Garza as well.
Fantastic. Those are all
Which
great
are
high schools.
all great programs that
Yeah.
the district has.
Yeah.
And I mean, what better than to leave a high school with an associate's degree?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic
You're setting yourself
point.
up for so much success.
Yes, ma'am.
And,
And then-
speaking of success, sorry,
Yes.
real quick, you guys 7 out of 7 distinctions.
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that
We have
right?
7 out of 7 distinctions for the past 2 years.
Wow.
Here at DESA. We've every year our goal is not whether we're going to pass STAR or succeed, is how we're going to master. Our point is to master. How we get into that mastery point. That's what we highlight here at students. Because, like I said, at DESA, it's on task, on time, on task, and on mission for excellence without an excuse. There is no excuse here at DESA. Never is.
Love it.
So everything at DESA, students know, and then we actually get students coming back from us from high school telling us, wow, DESA prepared me for high school. High school is not a big deal because of what you guys did to prepare us and get us ready to for high school. We're ready. I mean, our workload now is nothing compared to what we had in middle school.
Yeah.
So
That's got to be such a
Yes,
great thing
ma'am.
to hear as an educator.
yes.
Awesome. And now it looks like we're here with Patrick, one of our parents.
Absolutely.
here.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, doing well.
Great to see you. We're actually in the library now. There's a book fair going on.
There's a book fair. So if you're in the neighborhood, come get some books. Fundraising is always a good thing for the library.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me, why did you choose Dessa for your daughter?
We didn't choose Dessa for her. She chose Dessa for her. Since she was very young, she had such an interest in math and science. In fact, at the age of 4, she decided she wanted to be a surgeon. I don't know if she still does, but that apparently is the course. So for her, there was really no other option. This was going to be the school that was going to not just nurture her math, her love of math and science, but allow her to even expand on it. Just this morning, I was watching her in her in her programming class. They're programming drones, which I hope you guys get a chance to see. So she was programming that to fly through a maze, and you know, she's always been into computers as part of her love of STEM and robots, and you know, her team just qualified for nationals. So but beyond that, as she starts looking at what does she want to do next, what does she want to become, she knows that Dessa is a nice feeder into the SEM and the TAG programs at Townview, which are, you know, nationally recognized, and so she sort of, even at the ripe old age of, I think she was 8, started putting it all together that this was going to be her path.
Wow.
And now that she's 12 and has been here for 2 years, it's become even more clear that that's what she wants to pursue in terms of next steps. But even more important than that, it in terms of not nurturing and fostering her development of the love of math and science, she still gets to be a soccer player. So she's the starting goalkeeper for Ann Richards,
Wonderful.
her home, which would be her home school, but clearly she's at a magnet. So it doesn't limit her in terms of just being one thing or another. She gets to be whatever she really wants to be, which, you know, it's a beautiful thing. And you know, we try to be as supportive as we can, but it was clearly her decision. It was not anything that we said, you know, this has to be your path. It was very much, you know, this is what I want to do, and it's just been such a nurturing environment. You know, as I said, her robotics team is going to go to nationals this year, and you know, hopefully we do well enough that they're going to go to worlds.
Yeah.
And, they just do so much here to help the students thrive and explore and achieve more. And you know, I think with the new science labs coming into place, I believe it's in spring, it's going to open up even more possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, her science fair project was about, and she'll kill me if I get this wrong, shear thickening non-Newtonian fluids.
Wow.
Most of which meant nothing to me.
Yeah, same.
But we were, you know, and she wanted to test, you know, what was the load-bearing capacity. And it didn't go as planned because nothing actually sank in the fluids, which you wouldn't expect when you're talking about 5 pounds of materials sitting on top of a liquid. But according to her, with shear thickening non-Newtonian fluids, not completely unanticipated as a final result. So, but it, you know, it's so fascinating to watch her dive into topics that, you know, I know at the age of 12 I had no concept even existed, let alone was something I wanted to explore. And in many ways she's not unique in that sense. All the students here are that way. It's such a welcoming environment. It's such a warm environment. Mr. Z's been terrific, and I'm not saying it just because he's standing not too far from me. I'd say it even if he's not in the room. So, and I know it's application time, parents, so if you're thinking about it, yes, if your children love math, if they love science, if they love being challenged, if they want to just develop their critical thinking skills, if you want them to develop their critical thinking skills, this is an incredible campus for them, and it's only getting better. The opportunities are only increasing. And as a member of the executive committee for the PTSA, we're doing everything we can to raise funds to make sure that happens across the board. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much,
I could preach more if you want, but I think I'm taking up your time.
You mentioned the drone, so I think we're actually going to head that way.
It's pretty awesome.
But thank you so much.
My
it
pleasure.
Was so
Thank
great
you.
chatting
Thanks for
with
coming
you.
and visiting with us.
Of course, yeah.
And like Mr. West said, you know, we are accepting applications right now at this time. So you go onto the Dallas ISD Choose Your School website, and on the website, and fill out the application and bring in all the required documents. And we've already had one round of testing, and we have another one scheduled for December 13th. but we are accepting applications from 7:30 in the morning till 4 every afternoon and until 6:30 on Wednesdays. So we're looking forward to our new students coming in this year. For next year, of course.
Yeah.
And we had one preview night where the students came and saw what we do here at DESA and what DESA is about. And the students were really excited about their opportunities for middle school as well, coming up here soon.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. And you were telling me a little bit about debate, and we actually have one of
Yes.
our debate students right here, Erica. Is that right? Awesome. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about DESA and why you love going here?
Well, DESA is a school where it's preparing you for high school and your whole life, basically. For example, I'm pretty sure Mr. Swinga already told you, but we have physics in 8th grade, and we have Algebra 1 and pre math classes. So DESA is preparing us for high school and for success in life.
Love it. Okay, and you're also on the debate team. Can you tell me all about that?
For debate, we have an amazing debate team. Last year we won first place in championships for fall. After 3 years, our debate team works really hard. We usually have practices Tuesdays and Thursdays, and before championships or before any competition, we all prepare. It's like a big family between all of us. We read our files. This year is about immigration and refugee settlement programs and resettlement. And in debate, we basically just read our files, and then we go to a competition. We have certain rounds. This year there's only 3 rounds, and after that, we basically just compete with other schools, for example, Travis and Griner and McGill. But overall, DESA has one of the top debate teams.
Wonderful. So would you say, would you stand by the bell? Would you say that you're being challenged while still having fun here?
Yes, I'm definitely challenged. We're still having fun. We have a lot of homework sometimes, mainly from the teachers. But all the homework that they're giving us is to prepare us. For example, Ms. Reed, she gives us a lot of homework. We're learning about presidents right now, but then later in life, we'll know about certain information. We have valuable information because of the homework, and they're still challenging us, which helps us develop our brain.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. We're actually going to head in here now.
and not only do we have a fabulous debate in robotics and CPERT's teams, but we also, being a magnet, we don't have any district-sponsored sports. But we supplement that through the YMCA, through the West Dallas YMCA, and we do soccer and basketball. And we just won the fall championship for the soccer. Our 8th grade team did as well. And last year, our 8th grade team won the championship, and our 7th grade won the 2nd place championship. We played each other in the finals. So the students do have an opportunity to play sports as well. One of the coaches assists me, but the soccer, I'm primarily the soccer coach as well.
Love it.
So we got to do a little bit of everything to make sure our students, we meet our students' needs.
Well-rounded.
Yes, and they're well-rounded. Yes, yes. So I mean, now we're heading into this is one of our programming classes, and what the students are doing is they're programming drones. So part of that is Mr. Barlow, our robotics teacher. He teaches programming. He wrote a grant to get drones for the students. And the students program the drones, and they have to go through a certain protocol to get through a certain obstacle course as well. Not only has Mr. Barlow written that grant and won that grant, but I also have 2 other teachers that won grants from the Junior League of Dallas. Ms. Rob, our librarian, won a grant to buy more books in the library, and Ms. Dansby, my English teacher for 8th grade, she wrote a grant for poetry. So she got poetry books for the students that they're going to use to write their own poetry as well. So we have well-rounded students and teachers here at DESA.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here?
We're trying to get through the obstacle course, but we can't figure out how to do it unless we actually try and figure it out. So that's our code
Just
right
playing
there.
around with the different programming.
Yeah.
Awesome. You want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing right here?
Log back in so we can get the code better. We have to log out because the drone's having some disfix.
Okay. Have you made it through the course yet?
No.
We're about to the drone started acting up, so we kind of had to consider.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Hey.
So we're trying to make it so when the drone doesn't stop, so we can just press the space button to make it easier for make it stop.
What's your favorite part about doing this?
To see how what we created actually worked and how it went.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, didn't know I saw that time going backwards. Never been there. Right. 4, clear. Oh, they got it. There you go. That's half the battle. Yeah. There you go. All right, launch pad open, guys. Launch pad closed. 2, clear. Ooh! I meant to like that. There you go. Made it through the hoop. Yeah, that's one way to get through it. 3, clear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. There you go. And go ahead and kill it.
The next part is
If it disconnects,
this hoop, and then go back into that hoop, then go underneath the bar, then go into the little house, and go through that hoop, and eventually they're going to program to go all the way around and land in the target and get points on the bullseye target.
4, clear.
Wow.
As well.
And I feel very intimidated because I can't do anything.
Well, you know, with so much that kids know nowadays, and our DESA students, I mean, they know how to use the phone better than I do. They can use a computer faster than I can. And they know so many apps that weren't around when we had phones or when phones were out. So, I mean, our students are fantastic when it comes to the apps and using apps for their work and their projects. Not only that, I mean, a lot of our teachers use a Google Classroom to assign stuff, to assign materials to students, tests, classwork, homework. So that not only being an environmental academy, science academy doesn't only it helps us the environment because we're cutting down on paper, we're cutting down on waste as well. So that's one of the things the students need to learn as well, how to cut down on waste and how to recycle as well.
Awesome. This has been such a great episode. Mr. Z, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we have to go? Like applications?
Applications, like I said, application windows open till January 31st. Go to dallasisd.org to the website. Choice programs.
Your choices.
Your choices.
Yeah.
Your choices.
DallasISD.org/yourchoices.
Your choices. And fill out your application. Bring in the required paperwork to your magnet school of choice, and we will take it from there. And we will be waiting for your students to come to our fantastic schools.
Thank you so much. It's been another great episode. It's one of the best schools in Dallas.
Yep. That's the throttle command.